press conference talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers. There was a day that would have been a firing offense, Rico. You are such a good leader in higher ed. It's not even something I would contemplate. I really do want to thank Rico for his leadership in one of the more difficult and challenging environments for higher education, and at a time where there's a great deal of thought about how we move forward. Rico, you've been a great leader and a great, certainly, friend of mine in our administration. You served in 2 different cabinet posts, and I thank you for that. Thanks for the sacrifices. Also, Jim Lyons, as Rico already mentioned, is here, and this master plan for higher education that they wrote, if you have not read it, the Higher Education Strategic Plan called The Degree Dividend, it really is worthwhile to read. And we had our time last week with the press about that, but the people who were not there, I suggest everybody find a copy of that and look at it, because it really is, I think, about the future of our state. That plan, as much as anything, talks about what we need to do to remain competitive and also to enhance the quality of life for those people who might not be able to afford or access higher education unless we as a state make the right decisions and chart the right course. A central recommendation of that plan is that we must do a better job generating college degrees in Colorado. We must do a better job helping students who start degrees, finish them, and then a better job bringing adults with partial degrees back to college to finish their coursework and graduate. Today we're demonstrating there's no time to waste. We think this is urgent and we must immediately make progress. We think the future of Colorado is too linked to the future of higher education. So today, building on your commission's work, Jim, on the strategic plan, we're launching Complete College Colorado, an action campaign to raise awareness about the importance of degree completion to the student, to our economy, and to the future of the state. This initiative will publicize financial aid programs, highlight responsible businesses that are helping their employees, and reach out to people who have attended some college but have stopped short of a degree. And at the end of the month, we will announce future efforts. In the end, this is what we want as a future for our children and for all of Colorado. We have to ask ourselves the questions. Do we want a future filled with opportunities for our children and with Colorado companies growing, thriving, and adding jobs? Do we want a future with companies coming to Colorado because we have the best educated workforce in the world? And that's not an exaggeration, right? Because we have one of the best educated workforces presently, second or third in the number of higher ed degrees among our population. But we have what we call the Colorado paradox. And what we really ask is, are we satisfied with the Colorado paradox? Are we satisfied with importing college-educated workers from other states while our own children get left behind in an ever more competitive global economy? For me, the answer is simple. We must educate our own. We must educate our children. We must help them complete degrees so that they have the opportunity to live up what we talk about, their God-given potential. As I've said many times before, there's simply no better anti-poverty program, there's simply no better economic development program than education. So we move forward aggressively, knowing that implementing the new higher ed strategic plan will take years of hard work, and also acknowledging that we can't afford to wait. We have to start today to increase the college degree completion rate. So I mean, most of you know here, I think I'm going to not be governor after another 2 months. Something like that, right, Joe? Where is he? Our lieutenant governor-elect. He's counting. And I'm not, because I love this job. But we know, right, that we're leaving. And yet it was too important not to do this. As part of our last couple of months, we were asking ourselves back in February, what are the things that we should work on that are so important to this state that we can put some focus, some emphasis. And we wanted to wait for Jim's committee, the Higher Ed Strategic Planning Committee, to finish up, but then we believe this is it. There's over 600,000 people in the state of Colorado who have college credits but not a degree. And that giving them sort of a sense about why it's important to move toward a degree trying to give them all the different kinds of assistance is something that we just believe is our role and really our responsibility. And we're not alone in this. We have a lot of partners. I'm going to talk about them in a minute. But it just seems to us that this is this really fertile group of people for us to go to and really have this conversation with about the importance of completing degrees. Now, there are two things about this that are really important, I think, to say today as well. To the leaders in higher education who are here, we thank you for the difficult work that you are doing and that you have been doing. So what we're trying to do is add enrollment figures. We want kids and young adults and middle-aged adults to go back to school. And this is at a time where you've increased your student population by 18,000 just in the time that I've been governor. 18,000 more students. And we, in funding that, have not been able to keep up with the enrollment and inflation. First couple of years we did very well, putting 120 million of new money into it, but since then we were able to keep even only because of the stimulus funds, and now we're into a place of seeing college money, public funds for college go down. At the same time we're encouraging increased enrollments. So we understand the burden we place upon you, but we really think there's this terrible urgency to do this and do it well. The second thing would be a message to those people who we're encouraging to go back to school. A lot of people are saying, it's a tough economy. There are people with college degrees who can't find work, people coming out of college who are doing things that don't require a college degree. And what I would say is economies cycle. And what we know over your lifetime, this will be so much better to have a higher ed degree than to not have it. In a downturn, there are difficult times, difficult places, but taking the long view on this, it is so much more important to do what you can to finish your higher ed degree. So let me thank our partners and the sponsors who make this effort possible. The Denver Metro Chamber of Commerce, you'll hear from their president and CEO in just a moment. Quest, Kaiser Permanente, United Launch Alliance, Michael Glass is here. Just want to take a moment. Michael Glass has also co-chaired our P20 Council. So United Launch Alliance has been a huge part of this administration in a variety of ways. The Denver Foundation, my Department of Higher Education, headed by Rico, and the Department of Labor and Employment, headed by Don Matas, who's here as well. Please give those partners and sponsors a big round of applause. So with that, I turn the podium over to another person who leads an organization that cares so much about education generally and higher education specifically in the state of Colorado. It's the Metro Denver Chamber of Commerce. Their president is Kelly Bruff.